What up, what up, what up?
What's up, y'all? It's 2023.
Look, happy New Year, Eagles.
We are here.
We are here, and we are with one of our goodest friends.
Good friend. That's right. My boy.
Mr. Terrill Knighton. What do you want to say? Can you say hello to the people?
I want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and I want to say my friends call me TK. But my real name is Terrill Knighton. That's my government name, but I'm TK.
TK all day, actually.
TK all day. That's right, to my friends.
Look,
Yes.
TK all day.
Yes.
So Corey and I were thinking about how do we start off 2023, and we are in the realm where everyone's talking mindset and goals and what they want to accomplish this year. And I know you probably have a different spin on that, and we do too.
Okay.
But we thought, who would be the best guest to have for our first podcast of the year?
Okay.
And unanimously, we were like, TK.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Thank you.
He's graced us with his presence at Eagle Talk Live. He's been on Eagle Talk before we started really recording like this.
Okay.
Well, we weren't on YouTube.
Gotcha.
But now y'all get a chance to put the face with the name.
Yes.
Yes.
And quite honestly, y'all, TK really was one of the people who started us off on just the way we think, quite honestly. So TK, just tell the people a little bit about yourself and how we met.
Okay, well, I'm Terrill Knighton. I'm from Dallas area. I have my own business. I've been doing financial services for 30 years. And but I've been on a journey of self-development and self-discovery that entire time. And so I was smoking a cigar with a friend of mine named Johnny Collins, and in walks Corey. And then Johnny said, man, meet my man Corey. Corey, man, meet my man TK. And so, Corey and I connected, and then eventually we took our wives to dinner, which brought you along.
Yep.
And so that's how we come to know each other. And we went to dinner at, Papa's Brothers Steakhouse, and I started the conversation out with, so tell me, what books are you guys reading?
We've never been asked that question ever.
Look, okay, so let me back it up just a little bit.
Okay.
So we go to this dinner, y'all, and this was right around the time that I am just getting started in real estate, right?
I'm talking about what?
So it was about 2018, and we'd already met Johnny. And if you all don't remember, if you didn't check out the episode, we did an episode with Johnny Collins, episode 81.
Mm-hmm.
We will link it here. And it was all about the power of networking. And in true Johnny Collins style, introduced us to TK. But y'all, I share with people all the time that coming into these new situations with all these quote unquote business people, I was always so nervous to meet people. Mm-hmm. And you and your wife, Anna, I think I was laughing and having a great time the whole time until you looked me in my face and asked me what books I was reading.
Yeah, it was dinner was going great, and then it got serious because we didn't have nothing we were reading at the time.
Nothing. I was but just to do it, just to read, I read the real estate books, and that I don't even know if I was licensed yet, but it was a question that definitely put something on our mind, and we probably fumbled through it. I think we read The Secret, or did we watch?
Didn't I send you a book?
You did.
You at the table. You bought me a book.
I bought a book on the table on Amazon, and I don't know what it was, but I sent you something.
It was.
Was it Mind Power?
It was Mind Power.
And I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
You sent it. You said right then and there, you whipped out your phone,
and
you sent us the book. And I thought to myself, this man will never ask me what book I'm reading again, and I wasn't reading a book.
Right.
So you started that with us. You really did.
I'm glad to be the catalyst. I really am. I'm glad to be the catalyst. Most people haven't read a book since they left high school, or they had to read a book. And I think a lot of the challenges that people have in life is because they're not getting better.
Yes.
Sometimes you can be like an 18-year-old, just repeated 20 times or repeated 10 times.
Yeah.
People say, well, I'm a realtor. I've been doing it for 10 years. No, you got 1 year experience repeated 10 times.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So you're not growing. And so I think a lot of times with our relationships and people around us, who's challenging you?
Yeah.
You have to have people that are challenging you and that are helping you grow. You got to challenge yourself, know? So
I'll definitely say this about TK. He stays on me about my mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not a conversation that we have, whether it's at dinner or just at the cigar lounge, where we're not talking about just growing your mind. So I definitely appreciate that about our friendship.
Well, you know what? We were together in recently, Corey and I, and you have these friendships. I want to talk about relationships. You know, some people reach out to you, Corey reach out to you. I really try to figure out how I can get with it. You know what I mean? And so I really do, because we're both busy.
Right.
And if you reach out to me, I'm trying to figure out how we can get together. And these things are very valuable. Corey said something so good to me, I had to text it to myself. He said, I don't get paid to work, man. I get paid to think. I was like, oh man, hold on a minute. Let me text that to myself. I'm like, okay. But that's what friends do. You know, iron sharpens iron. Yeah. We challenge each other to how we think. And he put something in my spirit. I said, I got to text this to myself, because I can't let this go.
Out of curiosity, where did Corey tell you he got that from?
I know where I got it from.
No, I'm playing.
Okay, I just said, I don't know where he got it from, but I got it now. It's mine now.
No, that is amazing. And this is what I love. And I will tell you that you are definitely one of those people that we've met, that the way you think is definitely next level. I remember having fun at that dinner, and, you know, thinking that you were relatable and your wife was relatable. Anna, y'all are hilarious on a whole different level. We got to let him tell you the story of how he met and married his wife in like 30 days.
Hilarious.
But I was challenged because I could tell that your thinking was a lot beyond where my thinking was. And I want to talk about that from two angles, because from some angles, some people can think, oh, that mindset stuff is just rah-rah. Right? Okay. And then you have other people that think, I can never achieve that. So have you always thought this way? Like, what has this path of self-development looked like for you?
It's a great question. So I got started out in sales, didn't know anything about sales, didn't know anything about anything. I wasn't a reader. I was in college. So there was a guy who was legendary in the sales business. He was in real estate. His name is Tom Hopkins. And he sold one house a day for a year. And he was with Century 21. He was just legendary. And so he switched to being a sales trainer, but just in general. So the first time I got exposed to that, I went to a seminar and he taught us how to sell. And so that kind of got me going, you know, on the journey. Okay, well, I can start learning things.
Yeah.
I can start learning things. So since it's the first of the year, my question to the audience and to you, I want to challenge everybody. How much money do you have set aside for personal development this year? Yeah. I'm talking about seminars. How many books are you ordering? Are you building a library? I mean, how much money are you setting aside to get better? Yeah. So is that going to be $1,000 this year? $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000? How much money are you setting aside to get better? Because it really comes back to you like a boomerang. When you get better, it gets better.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you I know this is just a part of who you are, because this question you asked us at the dinner table that day. Yeah. And again, it was like, okay, I went and got a real estate license, or I can't remember the last time that I was reading, can't remember the last time that I went to a conference that my work didn't pay for me to go. Okay. So I can tell you that planting those seeds and actually taking action has been the catalyst. And the whole thing that Corey just said to you, you get paid to think. I learned that at a mastermind that I joined. Yeah. Love it. And if I wouldn't have invested in that mastermind, I wouldn't have gotten that knowledge to bring back to him that now we're sharing. That's awesome. So it's just, it
thank
comes
you
back
for making that investment, because it blessed me.
Yeah, she definitely. I remember when she came back, she was so excited to even share that piece of information. But what I'll say about that is, we're talking about masterminds. I think in the last 2 years, we've done a really good job in investing in ourselves in masterminds.
Yeah, we've started to.
Prior to, we didn't.
It wasn't a priority. It was like mastermind or dinner at Papa's or mastermind and even, and I want you to talk about this too, because you just alluded to it with Corey, even being, and I don't want to use the word strategic, but strategic with your relationship building. Because when I go to dinner with a friend, I want to be able to deposit value in them, and I want to connect with people who are going to be depositing in me. So what has that looked like for you in your life?
Well, you have to be in rapport. Yeah. Okay. And so it's very difficult to be friends with people that you've known for a long time, because if you're growing and they're not, you're falling out of rapport. Yeah. So you decide to be an entrepreneur, and you're thinking all these great thoughts. You want to go to the next level. You're working on your thinking. You're listening to YouTube. You're reading Audible books. You're reading books. You're going to seminars, and your friends are watching the game.
Right.
So all of a sudden, we don't have anything to talk about. So just to put to another level, me and my wife, we don't even go to dinner necessarily by ourselves. We always go with someone.
Yeah.
We're always investing in relationships. I mean, I see my wife all the time. I'm going home with her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's weird. Okay. Anyway, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But I found out Grant Cardone does the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said that he and his wife don't go to dinner together. Now, come on, we go places together.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like, we're looking at it.
If me and Anna could go to dinner with ourselves, or we could go with you guys, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, and we went to dinner last night with some friends of ours.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because actually Corey and I, that's as we talk about, like, everyone does New Year's resolutions, right? Mm-hmm. We are not focused on resolutions, but we're focusing on habits, right? Mm-hmm. Refining some habits, and not a million of them either, right?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, but like, what are some rhythms? What are some habits that we are establishing in our lives that are in alignment with the broader picture? And one of those is, we said, okay, once a week, we need to be sitting down, breaking bread, having coffee, engaging in conversation with somebody, to expand our knowledge and to give, because we don't know what we're going to be able to give when we sit down with other people.
And I think for me, at least the last 2 or 3 years, I'm just now coming out of my shell, because I'm a natural introvert.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And I did something.
I see you doing things that I'm like, wow.
I was somewhere where we at recently, and I was saying something I don't know, and you walked up to me and said, "You're not an introvert anymore."
Oh, it was a speed networking.
Speed networking. Speed networking. That's what it was.
I mean, you've just grown.
Yeah.
As a man, as a businessman, you've just grown. And as a friend over the last 5 years, I'm seeing a guy that, he's not going to talk to you unless you talk to him.
Right.
You're not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
You're way more comfortable. You're way more outgoing. And it's a great look.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm definitely working on that. It's saying all of that is now I'm kind of coming to my own a little bit, at least, but I'm understanding that I'm having more conversations with people instead of just myself in my own mind.
Right.
That's good too.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, that's real good. That's real good, because and this, I want to pivot and talk about just where mindset plays into entrepreneurship, because if we're not out here having conversations, sharing, listening, learning, then it can be a very lonely space to be in, especially as an entrepreneur.
I have a new endeavor that I'm going into actually this year, and I started it last year. And the key is to network.
Yes.
The key is to network, especially when you're, let's use real estate. That's easy, right? You want to go to all the different seminars. You want to go to all the different groups. You want to meet people. You want to see if you can create some friendships. You want to see if there's some people you can, pick up the phone and ask a question.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that networking is giving first, sharing always, and getting come last.
Yes.
So you got to find a way that, how can I contribute something into this person's life? How can I deposit something in their life? So I just had an opportunity. I connected a guy I met with. I connected with a lady that needed his services. Right. So I gave him something.
Right.
The other guy I connected with, I took him to Papa Do's for lunch. So I took him to lunch. I had a young lady that met me at a seminar that I taught in the Woodlands this weekend. Don't know her from Adam. I said, I'm gonna do this seminar, which I charged $495 for, by the way. But anyways, I said, I just want you to come check this out. And she came and checked it out. So I made deposits into these people's lives, so I can pick up the phone and say, hey, can I ask you a question? First of all, it's like, you can ask me anything.
Anything.
What you need, doc?
Anything.
Ask me anything.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that. The young lady, the cosmetologist that was at your event, your master class, what was her name?
Kay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw her this weekend.
I received the award.
I heard about that.
Yeah, man. It was a bigger deal than I thought, actually. The Barber Industry Award, the Innovator of 2023.
That's awesome.
I swear to you, I had parked and I hadn't got in the building, and Kay walked up to me and congratulated me because she remembered me from your event.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That was good.
But again, so you got to connect with people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
And you can't be in a vacuum. And so, a friend of mine encouraged me to go in this new business endeavor, but right now he's very busy in the operations. He's not connecting
with everybody else.
And I made all these connections and I'm just getting started, but I'm like, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're so operational. You're missing all these relationships.
Yeah.
You could be saving time, energy, and money in learning a quicker way and an easier way, more efficient way to do business, but you're so operational, you're missing that opportunity.
He's busy working
in the business
and not
working on the business.
Yeah, we did a podcast
and I'm coming through just killing the game, building all these relationships. So I got phone calls. Hey, I need help with this. I need help with that. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one thing though that I think there's somebody out here watching you.
Okay.
And they're like, but I'm the only one in my business. I'm the only one. Like the mindset is that I have to do it by myself. I don't have time to network. You know, it's all of these limiting beliefs.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So what would you say to that person though that truly feels like I am in this box and now I'm in this hamster wheel, even if the business is producing, but I'm doing it alone. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. You and I know that it's some underlying limiting beliefs, but how does one break from that?
Now that was me up until about 3 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I would just say, first of all, listening to this podcast is letting you know that it's possible and that you need to have those relationships.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. And then again, just make different choices. If you're just choosing to stay in the box, no, there's no chain holding you in the box.
Right.
You're choosing to stay in the box. I've got to go back to the self-development thing. I taught this class this weekend, the Wealthy Mind experience you've experienced.
We've done it.
On
Yes.
finding and changing limited beliefs about money. And I took this course and it asked, what phase of life are you in? And when it had different areas of your life. And in business, I wrote struggle phase. So some people, it's kind of like saying, when I get my life right, I'm gonna go back to church.
Yeah. Right. Like,
okay,
how you gonna
really?
do that?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So I was in a struggle phase. And when I studied NLP the first time, you know, I had kids in private school. My wife didn't work. I was making six figures, but I mean, you got a lot of bills, man. I was struggling. I paid $2,000 a month for kids to go to private school. And I was paying $350 a month for like 18 months straight for my NLP training. And so every time that draft came in my account, I felt it, but I wasn't balling. I wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was at a time where I was really building, but I was still investing in me, even though it was kind of a struggle.
Right.
It was kind of a struggle for me to do it.
Yeah.
You know? And so people say, well, I don't have the money to do that. You don't have the money not to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. You got YouTube, right?
Right.
Last time I checked, that was free, or maybe you could pay like $17 a month or something, so you don't have to be bothered by the commercials. I mean, everybody's got that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to be willing to make that investment, and you can't. It doesn't matter where you are in your process. You've got to focus on you.
Yeah.
No, and I love that you said that. And we just recently coached with somebody, and we just even talked about the investment of time, right? Because we will fool ourselves. Like, I remember fooling myself to think, I don't have time to do X. I don't have time to read books. But then I was like, well, I am commuting a long way every day to go to these houses, to do my realtor work. So what if now I make the time that instead of commuting and being on the phone or listening to Beyonce, like Beyonce is already paid, right? She don't need my money on the way to this. I can listen to one song right before I pull up because I want to go in hype. But on the way, I need to listen to Audible. I need to really evaluate how I'm spending my time and my resources and reallocate those things so that we can grow.
So we call it turning your car into a classroom. Turn your car into a classroom and being more intentional living. My kids are like super dope, but it's not an accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
I go to great lengths to work on their self-esteem and to make them feel special. And I do these things. I'm very intentional. Why? Because I spend so much time working on myself that I can focus on my wife. I can focus on my kids because I don't need everyone to make me feel like, I you know what I mean?
That's
I did
a
that
whole
for
word.
I did that for myself.
Yes.
And so, well, my wife's not making me happy. That's because that's your job.
Yeah.
You with me? It's your job to be happy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like when
absolutely.
you work on yourself, you're just better for everybody around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like the word. I like that you use the word intentional because I think we both have, especially in the last year, been a lot more intentional about working on each, not just the podcast and the kids, but I think our relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the more that we know and understand each other, the more that stuff like this is just natural, right? Because we're having a conversation with each other, but it's a conversation that's being filmed because well, now that you can see it being filmed, it's a conversation that we typically just having with each other. It's not forced.
It's not forced. But I love the way TK is putting it, and that is really what's happening. What I'm even seeing in our life is because for a long time, like people, my husband not making me happy.
Right.
These kids need better grades. We get to deflect, right, on everyone else. But once you start to truly work on yourself and take responsibility for yourself, then you're right. As much as I love Corey can be really foolish. And that is not going to I may hurt my feelings or something like that, but that's not going to dictate my worth or my value or how I feel or how I show up, because I'm working on me, right? Mm-hmm. And even if it's not foolish, even if he just does something to disappoint me, which newsflash, he's going to disappoint me. I'm going to disappoint him. Mm-hmm. Our kids are going to disappoint us. But because we're working on ourselves, we're not taking that. We can eliminate the feelings and actually understand what's happening. Yeah. And because of the work you do on yourself, we can approach those things a little differently.
Yeah, I just want to make an observation about you too. I mean, I know you're my friends, and I know you asked me to be on the podcast, but real talk, I mean, I've watched like an evolution of the Lewises. I've watched an evolution. You guys are in the same industry, but you definitely could be individuals, but you found a way to just be together. Yeah. I mean, what you're doing with Eagle Talk, and I mean, when we look at your life, it's an example. People say, man, they really work together. They do stuff together, I mean, I talked to Corey. He hadn't said anything bad about you in your absence. I mean, he hadn't said anything bad about you. I mean, he just hadn't. I mean, he had not complained about you ever that I can think of. Maybe one time.
Maybe about 2 years.
Maybe one time. But I'm just saying, like, you guys are like growing together, but I've just seen this growth in you two. And I want to say this for anyone that's married, you're growing together. Yeah. I don't do too much without my wife because we're growing together.
So that was the point that I was making when we were saying intentionality, because we've definitely worked on that like a long time. And I think, again, now that it's being filmed, I got a message this morning from somebody that watched an episode last night. And he was like, man, just what I can see what you and your wife are doing. It wasn't what I'm doing. It was what we're doing together.
Yeah. I tell you, it's scary, man. Me and my wife, we think alike. She'll say, I said, damn, that's what I was thinking. Right. Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, that's what we gonna do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, she'll say what's in my head. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. But we're so much in rapport. Sometimes we get mistaken for brother and sister. That shows you how great a rapport we're in. Yeah. Wow. No, we're married, but we just tremendous rapport.
Yeah. And I think it's just always great to just say, like, I laugh at when I met your wife. She was telling me that when you first introduced yourself to her, you asked for her email address, and Anna from the south side of Chicago, like us, so she's like, email, I'm used to thugs. Like,
you got a page number?
Right. She was like, what's your beeper? So I just say all that to say, even if you don't start off on that trajectory, I think that we all are examples that as you begin to work and better yourself, then you're better for everybody around you.
Yeah. And last but not least, I think it comes down to your actual community.
Oh yeah, community is everything.
Yeah, I think that our friend circle are one of the reasons why people why we are so dope.
But we had to put ourselves in situations.
I was the first one on that Evite for that party. I'm like, I'm coming. I started dancing while I was putting in. Oh yeah, I'm going to the Lewises. Then I started seeing all the people. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a lot of people. I was like, I'm gonna be at that party. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna get there early too. I might Uber over there. Uber. So that might cost me $100. Y'all live in anyways with the cows.
I was gonna say, but it starts with that first step of doing something different, right? Yeah. Because if we didn't move to Dallas or go out to be in real estate or sit down with the Johnny Collins who was above where we were at the time, to introduce us to a TK who's above where we were at the time, we wouldn't be in those situations. So my question to you is, at the beginning of the year, we're at the beginning, you have a lot of folks, and 2022 was a cluster for, a lot of people personally, professionally, whatever. And they're sitting at 2023, like, it got to be different. And starting to understand that the difference has to start here.
Okay. So
what would you say to that person that's like, I know I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, but I don't know what to do?
Well, I really want to say this, and I apologize in advance, but I really hope you would have thought about that before you went into 2020.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know all the real players had the game plan before they sang Old Lang Syne. But anyways, with that being said, you need to just sit down and get still and think about what you want. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the hardest question in the world. You ready?
What
do you want?
Yeah.
That is the hardest question for so many people. Like, you ask them a question and they'll look at you and go like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? What do you mean?
Most people don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
You know,
when you're talking to a realtor, you know, some of the people you coach or whatever, or friend or whatever, say, look, what do you want? What? They won't even answer it.
Yeah.
But to think about what you want. I want you to get somewhere and get still and think about what you want. By the way, a friend of mine, a colleague, told me about these things where you can like go out into the country and stay in like a little camper thing.
Oh, like
and you can put your phone in a lockbox.
It's called staycation.
Yeah, and they don't have any like electronics or stuff like that. Oh, I'm doing that. But anyway, it's a sidebar. So the thing is, get somewhere, get still, and think about what you want, and then write a plan of accomplishment. Figure out what you want, and then say, well, what are the steps I need to take to accomplish this? So normally my goal setting class is the goal in 3 steps. Not complicated. The goal, 3 steps. Have a goal and a plan to accomplish it. But you've got to get somewhere and think about what you want.
So sorry to cut you off. I'm also going to say, because we talk about it a lot too, sometimes in figuring that process out, I think you also need to think about your who. Yeah. The who that you need to have
once
in place.
Once you figure out the steps, who can help me get to the steps?
Absolutely.
And quite honestly, TK, I think that's the hardest part. You know, I remember when Corey and we lived in Chicago our entire lives. It amazed me once we made the decision to move to Texas and we're actually here. I remember sitting there thinking like, this really wasn't that hard to do. Like it really was not that, like in hindsight, you know, you moved your family across the country, but once we made the decision, once we like, that was the hardest part, is making the decision and sticking to the decision, even though people around us may have been disappointed. But after we made the decision, the actually getting there, like I was expecting the bottom to fall out and it didn't. And it's been all the way up ever since.
All the way up.
Yeah.
I watched it.
So since we started this way, I want to end it this way.
Sure.
Can you tell our viewers just a couple of book recommendations that you would give?
Yes.
I have some great book recommendations. The first book recommendation, it's a very easy read. It's called Mind Power into the 21st Century. It's by John Kehoe. It's $10 on Amazon.
Okay.
They don't really have it on Audible.
Yeah,
Audible is in German. Don't buy it. I bought it. I was like, oh man, nothing against Germans. I just don't speak German, so therefore it wasn't very useful. That's a great book. The second book that I would recommend is by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Oh yeah, and the title of the book is Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself.
Yep, great book.
And so the thing is, you can't win the way you are. Yeah, yeah. You have to evolve, and you almost have to become a different person. Yep. You know, you can't win the way you are, and you got to get some help. You need to get a mentor, so you can find somebody that can help you to avoid some of the mistakes that you would make. Yeah. That's the shortcut to success, is through mentorship. You know, and then to be successful, you have to be humble. You have to say, well, look, I don't know anything, or I'm gonna take what I know. I'm gonna sit it here, and I want to seek out and see. Tell me what I don't know. Yeah. Because what I don't know is what's keeping me from going to the next level. And so then the next book, what would be the next book? Let me think on that for a second. Those two are so powerful. They'll keep you pretty busy.
Yeah, I think they can start there.
Because those books are getting you to really go inward. Yeah. You know, they go inward. That's why meditation is good, because you got to get still and you got to go inward. So we're going to talk about the metacognitive. The metacognitive, spelled META-cognitive, is to think about what you're thinking about. Yeah. When is the last time you thought about what you're thinking about? Because if you do think about what you're thinking about, and that's the great thing about being a human being, that's what makes us different than animals, is that we have the ability to think. So, but to think about what you're thinking about, most people don't ever really do that. That's why you're just such in a cycle, because you're not taking the time to think about what you're thinking about. Yeah. And boy, if you do take the time to think what you think about, I say, man, no wonder I'm thinking some crazy crap.
Right.
Like, I can't believe I'm thinking like that. Yeah. But you're just in a pattern. And so you got to get around people that can interrupt your pattern and say, man, well, what you doing that for?
Yeah. What books are you reading?
What books are you reading? You say, well, you know, great. I know what you want to accomplish in business. So who's going to help you with that? Yeah. Now, it's funny you say in my new business endeavor, I got a guy that's really good administratively, and he's like semi-retired. He's my who. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. And I got him. He's my who. Yeah. Yep. Because I know I'm gonna go make it happen. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But I gotta have somebody keep me tight on the back end. Yeah. Does it make sense? Yeah. Absolutely. So I got a who Now, I wasn't thinking about that until you said that with the goals. And what about, think about someone that can help you, an integrator, somebody can help you get done what you're getting done. Yeah. And so, so that's where I'm at on that. But you've got everything. You're going to have a great year because you're going to get better and you're going to work on yourself. That's what's going to make it a great year.
Well, that's awesome.
As y'all see, we can sit here all day. And
all day. Literally with TK all day. But you know what, TK, this is your formal invitation. We are going to have Eagle Talk Live event October 2023. Would you join us and grace the
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well look
I'm always down.
He's always down.
I'm always down.
Now, if someone wants to learn about the wealthy mindset courses or anything like that, if they want to get in contact with you, let them know how to get in contact with you.
Okay, to get in contact with me, you can hit me on Facebook. I'm Terrill Knighton. You can hit me on Instagram. I'm Terrill Knighton. I don't have a fancy Instagram handle. Sorry. I thought you just supposed to type your name in.
You should change it to TK all day.
Well, show me how. Okay. And then, you can reach out to me. Those are good ways to reach out to me. So just try that. Or you could, reach out to me.
Slide in his DMs.
Slide in the DM. Yeah, that's what you do.
And speaking of DMs, y'all, slide into our DMs and tell us, what do you want?
Yeah,
I'm curious to hear that question. And as always, we are so grateful for you starting your year off with Team Lewis, with Eagle Talk with Team Lewis. If you could, we would love to start the year off with a few more 5-star reviews. Would you like that?
Pretty please. If you can just leave a 5-star review and like, share, subscribe to the channel, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Yep. See y'all next time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.